So I've been experimenting with the rear suspension in the truck over the last couple of weeks, and what I ended up doing was I ended up adding a leaf to increase the load capacity to about 900 pounds. But that stiffened up the ride quite a bit, and to combat that, what I ended up doing was adding a set of King off-road racing shocks that are they're adjustable. Obviously, I don't race the truck off-road, but I got these because they are adjustable. And what I ended up doing was on road, I have them set to the softest setting. And even with the additional stiffness of the springs, with the extra 900-pound capacity, it actually feels better than stock. It's more comfortable, the ride is more comfortable, and it does not squat at all with what I normally put in the bed. So I'm very happy with the way it came out. And I'll show you some of the components, basically the basic setup here in a second. But essentially, I added 900 pounds and I improved the ride comfort by just adding one leaf spring and a set of the King shocks. King shocks are expensive, but in my opinion, so far they've been well worth it. And I'll probably review it again after I've driven on it for a few months to give you an update to see if that continues. But right now, it's a very comfortable ride, and I like it. It doesn't squat at all. In fact, it probably sits up a little bit higher because of the springs. It sits up a little bit higher. It's not much higher, might be a ½ an inch, but I like it. So let me show you the parts and the configuration underneath, and then what I'll do is I'll get the truck back together and give you a complete walk around so you can kind of see how everything looks with the new suspension upgrades and the 35s that I have on the truck. And then I'll even talk about some of the other improvements that I've done. I added a Diamondback bed cover, and I've got a bed slide in the back. So between the Diamondback bed cover, the bed slide, and then I've got an ARB refrigerator in the back. That added a few hundred pounds, and on the stock suspension, it squatted just a little bit, which it kind of sucks to have a truck squat just with a few hundred pounds. But with the extra leaf, that fixed that right up. So yeah, let me show you the parts, get everything back together, and then show you what it looks like all around. All right, so this is a little bit closer view of the leaf that I had to add. It's roughly 36 inches long, so it's a little bit longer than your overload leaf, but it's shorter than your long leaves. And according to the manufacturer's data sheet, it adds 900 pounds to the rear capacity. A fairly simple installation. It's just you basically just remove these two U-bolts, unbolt the center, add the leaf, bolt it, and basically bolt everything back up. I did have to increase the length of the center bolt, but I think I got that bolt. This is a grade 8 bolt that I got at Lowe's, I believe. Anyway, but it's a fairly simple installation, and I did this rather than add the airbags because I still wanted articulation in the rear, and this gives you the articulation, maintains the articulation, and also gives you additional load carrying capacity. And so the King shocks, these are fairly simple to install as well. Also just 2 bolts. I mean, if you don't include the bracket that this mounts to. Basically, you just cut away the inner fender well a little bit, slide this in between your frame rail and your bed, and then it bolts. The shock just bolts there, and it has also a bolt at the top, and that's the top bolt there. And so I think the shocks maybe took 10 minutes to install. You know, aside from trimming this out, it took maybe 10 minutes to install the shocks, so that's really no big deal. And the leaf springs maybe took a little bit longer because I, you know, getting everything prepped, getting the suspension all prepped up, maybe took a little bit longer, half an hour or so. But all total, it took me an hour both sides to install the rear suspension parts. All right, so this is what it looks like all back together, and basically the way it sits, you can see from the side with the 35s, roughly the way that the tires poke out, and you can see how it sits with the suspension in the back. It does sit up a little bit higher than stock, but basically it sits about right. And that's the Diamondback bed cover that I mentioned. It's a pretty substantial bed cover. I like it. It's a little bit heavier than some, but it also supports 1,600 pounds, and we put a rooftop tent right there, so it needs to support a little bit more of a load. And let me show you the bed slide that I mentioned earlier. All right, so that's the bed slide in the ARB refrigerator that I have. And you can see that it basically just slides out. So I like that bed cover. It's again, that's the Diamondback bed cover. And this is the ARB. I think this is a 63 quart ARB refrig. What's nice about it, it plugs right there in the back. These trucks come with a 110 outlet, so that works out pretty good. But again, this is how it sits. Now, with that weight in the back, the add-a leaf. If you have any questions, you want to see anything different, let me know, and I'll be sure to try to make a video clip on that. But thanks for watching.